Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a special show we are doing today with UMR. UMR is a non-profit organization which provides disaster relief and recovery services to the underserved areas, both domestically and across the globe. Today we have the CEO of UMR, Mr. Moeddin Awad Saleh, and we would like to ask him a few questions and let you know more about this NPO. Hello, sir, and welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak to your viewers, and I am happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, sir. So would you like to elaborate a little about what UMR is and what kind of projects it's currently doing and in which countries?
Yeah, absolutely. UMR stands for United Mission for Relief and Development, and its head office is in Washington, D.C. We are operating in 22 countries in partnership with other organizations from Europe around the world. We registered in about 6 countries, in Sudan, in Somalia, in Kenya, in Jordan, and currently in Yemen, and we're working to also operate from Kuwait, and we have an office in the UK.
Okay. So, sir, what mainly in which countries do you guys do your give your donations and do your charities, and mainly where do you have big projects going on?
We have many projects in a number of countries around the world.
Okay.
We have regional offices in Jordan, in Kenya. We work in Somalia. We work in Yemen. We work in Syria. We work in Bangladesh. We work in Pakistan. We work with the Rohingya. We work with the refugees on the border of Turkey, of Jordan. And we work with disadvantaged people also in Somalia, Kenya, and many of the African countries. We specialized, or we pride ourselves to be a organization that is leading the way in paying attention to people's health, providing medicines, medical equipment, equipping hospitals, sending medical missions. Mm-hmm. And also we work with educational projects, women empowerment, youth empowerment, as well as sanitations, water, and the WASH program generally. And this is besides what we do, trying to sustain health issues and food availability and support to different part of the world.
Okay, so since most of our viewership is majority are from South Asia, so would you like to emphasis on what kind of projects are you doing in South Asia, especially in Pakistan and Bangladesh?
We have actually, it's good to ask me that question, because one of the brochures that I brought in with me, Water Wells Report, we have constructed 81 water wells in Bangladesh, 30 in Pakistan. Our aim is to reach 500 between those two countries. We currently also working to set up clinics, hospitals, adopt villages, that is creating schools, hospitals, and water. And the most important thing is not the help we give to different communities, but how we sustain their needs and help them stand on their own feet. And that is the second part of UMR, which is the development part. And I think giving people the tools to help themselves is most important to us, and as well as giving them the means to achieve that goal.
Okay. So since everybody knows that Eid al-Adha is right on the corner, and we saw it on your website, on UMR's website, that you guys work heavily with Qurbani's donation and the meat distribution in USA and outside USA. So would you like to tell me how does this whole distribution and donation thing work?
Sure. Usually, you know, being here in the United States, it is not an easy task actually to reach villages and needy people in different parts of any country without the presence and the collaborations we have on the ground with the local community. That is most important to us. And we listen to what our partners in any country and the implementers, bodies that we work with, we take their advice very seriously. We go through the selection with due diligence, and we make sure that the people who work with us are actually delivering the need to the people who are really we are trying to reach, and we get the donation for. The meat distribution is a delicate one for us, because you need to get to the distribution in a timely manner and in a very healthy also manner. And whether it is to do with the temperature, the cooling system that we use to distribute food, we are very conscious, since we work with health issues, that when you're feeding people, you're doing it at a higher level of stringence. You put the stringence issues and guidelines to be able to reach those people far out from distribution centers, because we either have the qurbani on fresh meat that is actually put in a certain packaging, healthy packaging requirements. We meet that to be able to give it to people in different parts of wherever we work.
So, sir, my next question is just like, extending from the answer you just gave me. Do you guys have cold storages and any sanitization process for this meat when it comes to
most of the companies that we actually partner with or we contract with, we make sure they do have the appropriate equipment and the appropriate facilities to execute the program for us. This is an ongoing preparations that starts early for us before Qurbani time, and we make sure by the time we reach the Qurbani season that we meeting those objectives so we can reach a higher number of people, and the benefit is widely appreciated by everybody.
Right. So we even saw different kind of price ranges of Qurbani donations on your website, and also how do normally people respond to those price lists and all? Is the response good? Do you get more donations, or how is it? Like, how is the response of normal public?
We always hope for more.
Okay.
No matter how much you get, we always hope for more. We know there are so many organizations working with Qurbani.
Absolutely.
And we identify the areas that need help, and then we go out to try and get that help. Whether we get that help sooner or later, the organization is not going to feel shy spending whatever resources we have to help the people at this special season.
Right. So on that note, I would like all my viewers to log on to www.umrelief.org to contribute and to donate whatever you guys desire for the needy ones all across the globe and even in the United States.
That's very good.
So also we saw that you guys are doing some projects in Afghanistan right now. Do you have any current project or any relief fund going on for the recent earthquake in Afghanistan?
Yes, we do. We do. We actually working with people on the ground. We have organizations working from Europe, particularly from the UK. We make sure whenever there is a sad situations or a disaster that hits any of our brothers and sisters, that we are besides them and by their sides. It is not just during the disaster time. I think the most important thing for us as an organization is what after the disaster, the recovery side of the disaster. That is as much important as helping people during the disaster. People have lived, they live through bad experiences, through any disasters, and they lose so much of their livelihood, their homes, their businesses, and their schools, their hospitals. So we need to also pay attention to the recovery after the disaster. And I think the efforts we are carrying out now is to make sure that our brothers and sisters in Bangladesh finds the help they need, not just now when they need it, but also after now when they need it most.
Okay, sir. So we have to go for a short commercial break, and when I will come back from the break, I will ask you this question.
Sure.
Short break, everybody. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. We are doing a special transmission with UMR. Can you tell us a little about your on-ground activities and your offices in other countries?
Sure. We pride ourselves, UMR, as a very effective organization because we try and keep our cost to the minimum. The percentage we work with on administrations of our activities has to be kept to the minimum. Therefore, we can't open offices in every country. That takes a lot of resources, and these resources are needed for helping people. But we do share with a lot of other organizations. We have offices that are open to our sister organizations to use wherever we have registrations, and we also use other people's offices whenever we do not have a registration, or we're trying to cut cost by not incurring additional burden on the budgets that was supposed to be spent on people. We use offices. I can give you examples. We use offices of organizations in Yemen, in Syria. We use offices in Bangladesh and in Pakistan. But all the same, we do have our own people on the ground representing UMR. We have our own desks on those offices. And at the same time, all our offices are available for other organizations to use wherever we are.
Right. So roughly how many sister organizations would you say you guys have affiliated with UMR?
Oh, many. We
like
have
just
many.
give me an estimate.
We have sister organization from Global One, from Action for Relief, from ICNA. We met with them today to establish a relationship going forward. We're always building with other organizations to work on the ground. There were so many organizations that we work with.
Next, I want to ask you that you mentioned that your NPO is doing activities and projects for women empowerment. Would you like to share some of that?
Absolutely. We started a unique program in Amman, in Jordan, to help the refugees, women refugees, as well as Jordanian women in Jordan. There were a lot of influx of people coming from the war in Syria into neighboring countries. Jordan was one of the countries that got really affected by so many refugees. The women, they come to these countries, I mean, they rely on the goodwill of organizations as well as the service they get from the hosting governments. And for us, we wanted to set up the empowerment of women. And we did start by training women in Jordan how to rely on their own selves to support their families rather than they rely on hands out from organization. We taught women how to make, and we market that, by the way. We help in the marketing prospects. Not the money is not coming to UMR, but it is coming to those women. And we promote issues related to embroidery, sewing, making soaps, making hygienes products, as well as anything that women could actually market easily in those countries, and the benefit goes back to them. That also goes for women, single women, single parent women. We also help them to sustain their lives. We look at what is available in the area, what is not available, and how we can develop that. One of the stories that I have encountered in an area in Jordan, that we found there are a high number of women who needed help, but the help was there around them. The area is very rich with olive oil.
Right.
So we encouraged them, we provided them with guidance and help, and we're working with them to develop the strategy of how they can utilize the wealth they have in their community and how they can market it, whether within Jordan or outside Jordan.
Okay. So again, I want to remind all our viewers, if you want to donate to UMR, please don't forget to log on to www.unrelief.org and donate and contribute towards their projects. And having said that, do you have any educational projects working? Do you have any educational projects going on right now?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We have a number of projects dedicated for education in Kenya. Also in Pakistan, that we have set up a number of educational units, schools for young children and youth, and especially for women, to help them also, achieve their goals. We do that also in Jordan, and we are working to develop the same thing in Yemen. So education is one of the projects that we also pay attention to, and it is very important to the development of people, whether they are refugees or non-refugees.
Right. So roughly how many people would you say are involved in UMR? Both domestically and across the globe.
This is what I tried to touch earlier on. In order for us, and we consider ourselves a young, very robust organization, we have about all of UMR staff in the United States and outside the United States is around 20 people.
Okay, so if anybody who is not a part of UMR and wants to be a part of UMR, how can they do that?
Absolutely, they can actually get in touch with us, info@umr.org, or they can call any of the numbers if they log into www.umr.org.
UMRrelief.org.
Yeah, umr.org. It is a very good thing. If you search on the website UM Relief, also you will find us, number one on that topic, to be able to see our websites and get in touch with us, and we will be more than happy. Actually, I have to mention something which we experiencing here in the United States.
Yes, please.
I'm not saying we are the only one, but I know we are the only one. organization that have 35 chapters in the United States.
Okay.
These chapters are in universities. We are in touch with university students. We encourage them to participate with UMR. We have volunteers that work with UMR. We have a curriculum that we have designed, and our CEO, Dr. Abid Ayoub, who is an educator. He is also a professor at a number of universities here in the States and overseas in the UK. His curriculum is teaching young people on the humanitarian concept and humanitarian work. We also working with a number of agencies within the United Nations to develop the Humanitarian Institute.
Right.
And this is something that we believe by educating people how they should actually acknowledge and understand the humanitarian work. We're bringing, young and fresh blood to the humanitarian concept.
Okay. So, I mean, are you telling me that even people who cannot donate their money and who have these skills, they can come and they can volunteer and they can...
Without hesitation.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That would be good.
Absolutely.
That would be good. So, any refugee story would you like to share with us today? Like, in so many years, you have worked with so many countries and so many refugees. Any one story which has stuck in your head?
There are quite few. Usually when we do like this interview, I like to shed light on the good stories.
Okay.
And but also there are stories that people need to hear.
Yes.
So they understand the status of refugees and the living standard of refugees. I remember in 2016 we visited a camp on the border between Jordan and Syria, and it's a small camp having about, I think it's about 50 families, but they had a high range of children. We opened the school for them. We brought teachers to the area. We bring them also health and doctors from time to time. But the thing that is stuck in my mind is, there were people like 5 and 7 years old, and this is after the war. We took some food, baskets to distribute. And amongst the food we took with us, milk for, young babies, we took fruits.
Okay.
Some fruits.
Right.
And there were some kids who never seen
those fruits.
Any fruits. Okay. Bananas, apples, oranges, which was really, really something that I'm still, a 7-year-old who never seen.
Okay, so we have to go for a short commercial break. We will come back and we'll continue our stories.
Sure.
We will be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. So we were listening the story from Mr. Awad Saleh. Sir, please continue. You were telling us a refugee story.
Yeah, and the stories of refugees, there is, good and bad. As I said, we like to touch on the good as well. I remember when I visited in 2016, also to see a refugee camp on the border of Turkey and Syria. I met a young boy who at the time was about 14, 15 years old. And he didn't have a home. He lost his parents. He was living in a camp. He was getting help from a number of organizations. Obviously, he had a lot of hopes, a lot of ambitions, and he will wake up in the morning and all what he sees a camp. And we kept in touch, and one of the thrilling experiences is a couple of years ago. I was in Istanbul, I didn't recognize the young guy who stopped me and introduced himself as the boy who used to be in the camp a few years earlier, and that he came to Istanbul. He managed to get to Istanbul, and just about to finish his university education,
Right.
and was seeking to also, go back and help his brothers and sisters. There are a lot of stories, good stories like that, that I like to also remember, which will keep us, focused and going to assist,
Right.
those in need. All of us as humans, we just need that little touch and that little gentle help without feeling you giving those people anything more than what they deserve. So we help those people because this is their right. It is not because we're giving them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who provides. We are only in the middle.
Indeed.
Just to give them what God has planned for them.
Okay. So, sir, one more time, just for the students, how would you tell them to volunteer with UMR, the students, all around the world and all around USA? How can they come and volunteer for UMR in their free time?
Excellent question. UMR have a dedicated department for youth and students.
Okay.
And that department, we have a specialized young guy who is easily people can get in touch with, in charge of any programs related to volunteers and to students who wants to participate on the humanitarian work. Again, if you log to umr.org, or you can call our numbers, which is 202-370-6963. That will get you, or email us. You can email info@umr.org, or you can get in touch with any of offices or representative, wherever they are. Search UMR and get in touch, and we will get back to you. We will guide you, we will help you, we will support you, because we think it is not us who are supporting you to help, but you are supporting us to help, and that is important.
So you have heard whatever he said. Don't forget to log on to www.umrelief.org and give your donation generously. So, sir, my last question, and after that we will hopefully wrap up the show. When and how did it occur to you that an organization like UMR should exist, and how did it happen? When did you think that I should come up with this project and I should just make this organization?
I'm not claiming credit at all. I'm just a servant. I think credit goes to our CEO, Dr. Abid Ayoub. Dr. Abid Ayoub, he actually was the CEO of Islamic Relief.
Dr. Abid Ayoub.
Ayoub.
Okay.
And in 2010, there was a number of university students who actually, after the Haiti disaster, felt that they need to participate in humanitarian work. They need to get and help people who were affected. The earthquake destroyed so much. The whole of Haiti suffered. And they have approached, Dr. Abid Ayoub being an educator and a professor in a number of universities, he was approached by many students wanting to help. And since he was a CEO for a humanitarian organization that is Islamic Relief, he wanted to actually build an organization that solely rely on the efforts of young people to begin with. So he partnered with an organization called Muslim Without Border, and created an organization under the name of UMR, which used to be United Muslim Relief.
Okay.
And then we changed from United Muslim Relief to United Mission for Relief and Development, because we added the development part to the functions of the organizations. But yeah, 2010, about 12 years now, and we are in 22 countries.
Wow, it's been 12 years.
And we have, by the way, for those who are interested, our annual reports, our financial audits are all on our website. And you can see how much or how many millions of dollars that we raised, and we have dedicated or sent that to the people who really needs it most.
It must be a very long journey of 12 years, and I'm sure you must have come across so many people and so many stories. Any particular story which touched your heart?
Well, I tell you honestly, I mean, we are seeing it all around us. There are good people everywhere you go. I mean, we don't have just to focus on the tragedies of people. You know, as much as you see tragedies, you see also fantastic goodwill. You see encouragement. You see people who actually share, you know, from their own little amount of money they have in their pockets.
Absolutely.
To help their fellow men. And, you know, I will never forget an old lady who really didn't have much by the look of, you know, how she looked and what she had. And she came and handed us, you know, what is equal to $1.
Yes.
That is a lot. That is a big thing. You know, when you have someone who comes and gives you the last thing they have in their pocket, not because it is UMR, but because they do believe they need to help those people who are worse than them. And we are blessed. We live in the United States. We, you know, have good food. We drive good cars. We got good homes. But we need to understand that there are a lot of other people who just need that little notch of help.
Plus, I think in charity, more than the you know, quantity, the intention matters,
That is
right?
True.
So, in the end, do you want to give any message about UMR to all the people who are watching us right now?
Sure. UMR, again, I mean, I'm biased because this is my organization.
You are allowed to be biased.
And UMR is a sincere and transparent, and we are not in the game of you know, collecting money or spending money. We are in the game of helping those who are in need. I think I come from a very humble background. I come from Sudan, and I came from a family that needed help. And one of the reasons that I left Sudan is to try and help my family. And I understand that there are a lot of people who are actually experiencing what I experienced. Nothing stood on my way because I had the determination. Those people will reach their goal. They will succeed. It is a temporary thing. Nothing is permanent. Just believe in your ability. Believe in God and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who actually you are tested, and believe that you will reach your goal, whether you know, you get the help from someone like us or any other person. These are tools that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided to support you and get you from A to B.
Okay, in the end, would you like to tell us about any future projects which UMR is about to launch, and in which countries?
A very generous man just sent us a message while we are here in New York, on the way to New York actually. I don't know how or where he heard about UMR. We don't know him. And this message actually to our anonymous donor, he gave a huge land in Bangladesh and asked us to develop it into a hospital. And this is one of the projects that we hope we will achieve.
Thank you so much, sir, for coming on our show and for telling us about your NPO. We hope that our viewers have been educated as much as I have been educated by this. And all those who are watching it, please, please, please log on to www.umrelief.org and give your donations to this nonprofit organization, because you just heard that what these people are doing and how many families and refugees you can help just by sitting at home and by clicking on this website. Thank you so much.